Hey YouTube, what's going on? DCO in the house, Dose behind the camera, ProViews TV, reviews from pros that know what's going on. And I made the intro track. Let's go! Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is DC here in the studio. Today we are doing a review on the Mackie HR824 MK2s. And just kind of before I start, as a preface, if you're watching this video, chances are you are in two situations. You are, number one, interested in purchasing the Mackies themselves, and or you are looking for more information on the speakers themselves. I know when I was first looking into them before I purchased them, I checked videos and reviews and forums and things like that. Just kind of get more information. You know, it's a lot of money to dish out, and you want to know as much as possible before you go ahead and make the purchase. And that's really the purpose of this video. Again, I didn't have any solid sources to kind of go on, so I ended up having to buy the speakers themselves on faith, basically. But hopefully with this video, you know, we can answer some questions for you. You won't have to go through what I went through, specs-wise and facts and things like that, and then wrap up with the reasons why I purchased them, which is, again, probably going to be the reasons why you want to purchase them. But let's go ahead right into it. The first category is audio quality. Now, the frequency response of the Mackies are from 37 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Now, when looking at the frequency response, to me, the biggest thing is the low end. What's the bass response on them? These Mackies come with an 8.75-inch subwoofer, and what's great about that is they have really, really good bass extension. That's what I look for in my reference monitors. It kind of avoids you from having to purchase a subwoofer, which I just don't believe it's a good setup for a production studio. And the speakers themselves, they have a low frequency amp of 150 watts, and the tweeters are 100 watts. So together it's a 250 watt speaker, which is pretty good for a speaker of the size and the price range. I would say they have excellent mixed translation and stereo imaging. Stereo imaging is also very important. I remember when I first purchased them, I went crazy. I listened to all my songs that I love all over again. It was like a whole new experience. I sat down here, and it's insane. You got the speakers to the left and the right of you, and they kind of just disappear as you're listening to the tracks, and you almost hear all the audio coming from the sensor, all of the speakers from the left and right. They're just awesome. It has really high crisp audio, and I love it. So mint, has great resolution to the audio signal. And one thing to note is that the speakers themselves are THX certified, which is awesome. They have an aesthetic piano finish, which is really cool. It looks great in any studio, I believe. In the back, it features a rear passive radiator, which is, I'll get into that and why that's important in a bit. And in the back, it has an acoustic space switch, so that you can kind of determine where you're placing the speakers in the room and the setup. Is it close to the walls? Are they on stands and things like that? So you can kind of change them depending on what your setup looks like. It has a low frequency and high frequency roll-off switch. It has an XLR, quarter-inch, and RCA input. And also, what's pretty cool about it is the power mode. It has a standby feature, which I haven't really seen in any other any reference monitors. Basically, you set it onto standby, and after 8 minutes of no signal running through the speakers, it'll actually shut off. The little lights on the front that signal that they're on will shut off, and they're on standby mode. And as soon as it picks up any type of signal that passes the threshold, they'll turn right back on. And it's pretty cool like that. You don't have to keep turning on and off the speakers, and it get a little hot, so that's great too. It'll put it on standby, and your room is a lot cooler because of that. And another neat thing about the speakers themselves, they have an internal compressor. Again, I haven't really seen that in other speakers of this size as well. Basically, once you reach a certain threshold, the compressors kick in, and you'll see the little light in the front will turn red. And the compressors in the beginning it'll be light compression, so it won't be as noticeable. But as the signal goes too loud, it'll start really noticeably compressing the signal, and you'll get like pumps in the audio, and that at that point you want to go ahead and put the volume down. One thing to mention, and I think anybody who knows anything about speakers and reference monitors like these, you want to have the room treated. These are very powerful speakers, and you don't want to put them in a small room where the the signals and the frequencies are going to mesh with each other and cancel each other out. You have a lot of problems, or that the bass frequencies accumulate. You don't want that, because in the end, it's going to affect how your mix translates and how it sounds. It'll sound great in here, or it'll sound horrible in here and great somewhere else. So the best thing is you want to have an accurate signal. It's like that when you translate that to anything, an iPod, your car, it's going to sound exactly how it sounded when you produced it. As far as my setup goes, I have a bass trap in the back with fiberglass panels, which I made myself. It's Owens Corning 703 fiberglass panels. They're actually 4 inches thick, and that's across the whole spectrum of behind the Mac and the speakers themselves. And again, that plays into the passive radiator in the back of the speakers themselves. As the low frequencies are emitted from the back of the speakers themselves, the fiberglass would actually absorb the low frequencies like that. It doesn't accumulate in the room. I also have acoustic foam all over the room at the bounce off points. Again, when you're in the front of the computer, you want to have kind of create a triangle between yourself and the speakers. And basically anywhere where the speakers are pointed off from, or basically anywhere the signals and the frequencies can bounce off, you want to go ahead and add foam in those areas like that. You don't have a lot of reflections off the walls and things like that. I also have another bass trap on the door, so like that, again, it absorbs the low frequencies. As far as the interface I'm running this with, I'm using an M-Audio Profiler 610, which is 24-bit 192 kilohertz. I kind of sacrifice the quantity of inputs for the quality. As far as cabling, I'm running Mogami Neglex cabling Gold, which is basically studio standard. I'm running that straight to the speakers. So like that, we're getting high resolution signal from the interface through the cables and all the way to the speakers themselves. Like that, there's no break in between, anything kind of sacrificing and compromising at all. You know, if you're serious about this, and you're looking into this review, you're obviously serious about spending some money on quality monitors. And I would go ahead and just from the beginning, don't skimp on anything. From the interface of the cables, make sure that everything's set, as well as the treatment in the room. My reasons for purchasing the speakers themselves, I would say when I was in the market for them, I was looking for something that I can trust. I wanted reference monitors I can really trust, that I can sit down and work on a track and it's going to tell me everything that's wrong with the track, like that I can fix it while I'm working on it. I don't want it to sound great here and someone else listens to it on their platform and something's wrong with it that I didn't pick up here. One of the biggest reasons why I purchased these and not other ones is really the bass extension that they have. They have really good reviews for it. Again, the subwoofer is an 8.75 inch subwoofer, so you really get some really good low end in there, and that's really what I wanted. I do a lot of R&B work and things like that, and I just didn't want to be lacking that, having to compensate later on in post for what's going on here, you know. And I just love the bass frequencies. I remember I was working on a track and I actually could not hear the bass, yet my Windows and my keyboard was rattling. And that's a little extreme, but I like to know that my monitors can do that if I wanted to, you know, and it can do everything that I really need it for. In the beginning, when I was in the market for reference monitors, I was also considering the Atom A7Xs, which are actually only 20 bucks more expensive per monitor. And I didn't go with them only because the subwoofer on those monitors are 7 inches, and I figured it might be a possibility that it won't have the low end that I want, and I didn't want to spend all that money and just still didn't have what I want, what I really needed. As well as that, they have the ports in the front, and based on research and things like that, I saw some people that had them. They were complaining about port chuffing, and I didn't really want that. I didn't want that noise or that airflow coming in, you know, as I'm working on a track. I think that'd be distracting and just kind of mess things up. Those two reasons really kind of messed it up for me. So I went ahead and went with these, and I love them. I highly, highly recommend them. If you're considering them, get them. If you're considering them, it's because you're serious and you're looking for something that's high quality, and I assure you that they are awesome. They sound great, 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 great. They have great mix translation, great bass extension. They're really loud, and I love the standby feature as well, which I mentioned before. I can honestly say I made a great buying decision, and I don't regret not getting the Atoms or looking into anything else. I avoided having to get a subwoofer. I get all the bass that I really need, and it's the perspective is there, the credibility is there, the look is there, and it's just all around a great purchase. If you're looking to get them, go ahead and get them. You won't be disappointed at all. With that said, guys, I'm all wrapped up. Hopefully this helped you guys out. This is for the people that kind of weren't able to answer the questions, looking into another source for information, things like that. Again, they're highly recommended. You won't be disappointed. Go ahead and get them. They're excellent. Any studio you put them in, and they're really professional sound that comes out of it. With that said, if you have any comments, any questions, concerns, go ahead and reply to the video. I'll go ahead and answer your questions as soon as possible. And go ahead and subscribe. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon on the next video. Take care, guys.